I'm Susie, and today I'm doing something very different. It's out of my comfort zone. I'm trying the Kiss product, which many of you have asked me to try. I'm really looking forward to trying this. Let's get started. Okay, so it comes in this blister pack. I ordered this online, and it is supposed to be a professional beginner's kit. So we can do a full sculpted nail with this kit. Everything in here is supposed to be included that we need. So it's a blister pack, of course, and these are really tough to open. So I've got to... Okay. Oh, these things are so hard to open. Okay. I'm sure there's a better way, but I'm not very graceful about it. Okay. So we have a little brush. Oh, that is little. Okay, so when I buy my professional brushes, they have like a substance in it that keeps the shape of the brush. And then you have to work a little bit to get rid of it. This does not have that. It's just a little guy. It looks like a little version of my Oval 8. So there's a little brush. And here is some liquid acrylic. And they're giving me the nail glue. And we've got an acrylic powder. It's clear. Oh, and a cute little emery board. That is little. It's like everything's mini. It's kind of cute. Okay. And these are, they're going to want us to do tips. That's what this kit looks like. It's going to give us tips. And honestly, if you're not a professional, tips is the best way to go. Then you're not having to sculpt it. It's much easier that way. So here's the instructions. So let's just, there's nothing left in there. And these are just information about the product. And this is the instructions. Oh my. Lots of different languages. That's pretty cool. Okay, clean nails of any polish or oil using acetone-based nail polish remover, which isn't in the kit, so that wasn't included. And trim and file off the fringe of your nail. So I did that beforehand, so I didn't have to bother your time for that. So I have removed all of the acrylic off these nails, and they are buffed, ready to go, and they are dried and cleaned and disinfected. So it does look a little bit dry. These are not damaged nails. They're completely fine. It's just been all buffed up, ready to go. So it looks a little, buffed. They've had acrylic on them too, right? Okay, so we trim and file the edges of your free natural nail. Yeah, I did push the cuticle back. I did all that. Gently buff the entire nail surface using a fine pink side of the file. Okay, so I will do what they said. Even though I've already buffed, I'm still going to use their little file and just buff it. They want you to buff it with the pink side. I don't want to over buff the layers of my natural nail plate. So when you're doing your natural nails, just do it just like I'm doing, and this is what it will look like. So you just want to buff those natural nails, buff the top side of the nail plate, and make sure you get every little corner, because the parts that you don't buff, the acrylic will not stick to, and then you'll have a lifting issue, right? Okay, so those are all buffed up. They don't supply a little hairbrush, but I'm going to just add that. So I'm going to buff that off there like that. I'm helping them out. Okay, so then remove the dust using a clean cotton ball soaked with acetone and nail polish remover. If you use nail polish remover, there's some oils and some nail polish remover, so I wouldn't use that. Okay, select a proper size nail tip for each finger. So we're going to do 2 fingers. I've chosen to do 2 because I'm going to do one being the natural and one being the French. So we get to try both colors. Let's do the tips first. Okay, so here's my nail glue. So when you're fitting a tip, that's what you have to do, have a little bit of knowledge about fitting a tip. So I'm trying to fit this tip for my finger, and you do want to fit them a little bit on the bigger side. You don't want them to be small because all these products shrink a little. So you do want not big, just a tad bit bigger than smaller. So this one looks like it's fitting pretty good. So this one here you can see is too small because it doesn't reach the sides on either side. Okay, so that's a little too small. So this one looks like it's going to fit So I'm going to undo the little nail glue. I'm going to place a bead in the well. And then I'm going to place it on. You only got really one shot to place it down, so you got to place it down pretty good in the spot that you want it. So by pressing down and holding it for 5 seconds or so, it does remove your little air pockets, and that means all the glue is saturated all over there. But you don't want to use too much glue either. So let's do the French white. Now this little one's broken on the side there, so we won't use him. But there's a lot to choose from. They do give you, I think it's 40 tips that they said that they include in here. So we're trying to find one that fits that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Let's keep that one aside. Some professional ones have numbers, and look at that, they do too. So that's cool. They do have little numbers there. This is an 8, which means it goes smaller as the number gets bigger. So that's way too tight. So let's see if we can find a 6 in here. Another 7, 3. Oh, was that a 6? Man, that's tiny. Yeah, this is 6. So that might fit a little bit better. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Okay, so sometimes you do want to just do a little pre-fit and make sure you angle it properly so you know which angle you're going to be going in at. Okay. That one looks a little bent on the corner too, but I don't think they have more than 1 6. Okay, so we'll just have to deal with it. So again, you want to put your glue right in your well. Just get a nice little bead out there and make sure you get it all in the well. And then you want to place it, and do press it down and hold it because you do want the glue to saturate all over there. And it says in the paper for 5 seconds. Okay, he's stuck. Here we go. Those curve, look at that. They're long. That's good they supply that length because you might not know how long you want it. Okay, so we're done with the tips. So now, let's see, oh, well, you know what? We better put this away. I find just cleaning the lid a little bit and then putting it on there right away makes it so that you can use it again next time. I've not done that on occasion and it doesn't work. Okay, so put a small amount of acrylic into a small glass bowl for your dappen dish. Never dip acrylic brush into acrylic liquid bottle. This will contaminate the acrylic liquid. Good advice. They're absolutely right about that. So they didn't supply an acrylic dish. So I have one right here. My little dappen dish. So yes, they don't ever want it to go into the bottle because you will contaminate. If you get any powder or anything inside the bottle, you will contaminate that acrylic liquid. So that's right. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to pour this in here. Oh, that's a very different smell than the professional stuff. It smells even different. This little brush is nice. It's not quite as refined and as delicate as my professional ones, but it might just be okay. So here's my powder. Now in my professional lines, I like to work with all sorts of colors, you know, the pinks and the cover pinks and the bright pinks and the dark pinks and the light pinks and the, you know, but this is just one color they supply in this little kit. There's my nails I'm using as a tool. What a brilliant invention. So I am going to use the powder right out of this dish. Okay, that was kind of clumsy. Sorry about that. Okay, I mean, I know how to do this, but let's just read their instructions just so I'm sure I'm on track. Dip the brush into the liquid, wipe the excess off the side of the glass dish, and then dip into the acrylic powder. Slowly pull brush across the powder until a small ball forms. Okay. And then place the acrylic ball mixture on the nail. Gently press the ball from side to side, which is what I do. Note that promptly the removal of any acrylic that gets stuck on the cuticle or the skin, we want to remove that right away. Yeah. Repeat step 2 and 3 until the nail surface is leveled, smooth, and has a desired shape. Let the acrylic harden for at least 5 minutes. Okay, let's get to that point. Okay, this is so weird. I'm just going to use this as a brace so we're nice and stable. Okay, forming my first ball. Oh, one thing I noticed that we didn't get. there's no primer in this kit. It was supposed to be a self-contained kit with all the products, and there was no primer in here. Primer makes the product stick. So we'll see. Okay. Well, this is a clear, and again, you can see the tip through there. Me hate that. That looks really ugly. But if they had a pink, you'd still see through it, honestly. But they didn't provide forms. I mean, I could build it from scratch, but most people don't know how to do that. So when they're trying to do a product kit for you guys who don't know how to build, then the tips really are quite an advantage. And then you wouldn't see that line, but the French one you won't. Okay, so I'm just building now. Those of you who are trying to do this at home, the tip part isn't strong enough as a nail. You do have to build over top of it more. Now these are exceptionally long. I don't want to wear them this long, but they did not provide me any nail cutters. So if I want them shorter, I'm going to have to file it, which is a lot of filing. So I will build it up a little bit too. I'll probably cut it off around there. You know, something they don't provide in there, which is you do need to build a structure, but that's not mentioned in the thing, in their instructions. But that's where a course comes in, eh? It's a whole other animal. Okay, here we go. Now I'm just following their instructions because that's what you have. And when you get this, you're just going to have their instructions. You're not going to have an instructor helping you. If I was to do this, I would have buffed out some of this line here, but then you're also removing where the adhesion is for that well at the tip, because you can really, really see that. Again, me hate that, but they didn't advise that, so I'm just gonna do it the way they suggested. So let's do the French white one. Now the French white one, if you're looking for that French white design, it's already built in, it's right there. You don't have to create it, because that is super hard to do. I mean, that's like the hardest nail. Bead right over here for this side. I'm just building in a structure here. You want to get some thickness in here because this is where the structure area is. If you don't, it's going to snap off pretty good. And the longer you go, of course, as in length, it's going to snap off more likely because it's tip heavy, right? So as I put more of the clear acrylic over top, it's not totally clear, and it's kind of tinting and changing the white into not so white. It's not a huge difference, but I can definitely see that it's not as white. Okay, and it is very hooky, isn't it? Look at that. That really is. A lot of tips will come like that. And it really has a lot to do with my natural shape and where it's placed, but that is the natural placement. If I put it back too far, it would have been bump and then bump. It would look odd. This was the correct placement for it, but it is definitely very hooky. So the tip itself is kind of hooky. And that might be a look you're going for. That's good. Okay. So the brush is very different. I don't think this brush would honestly last much more than maybe this session, or maybe one more if I'm lucky enough to get that out of it. It's very frayed. It's already losing its shape a little bit, but it definitely got us through this application. Okay, let's start filing them up. Okay, well this one, let's read the instructions. I don't want to miss anything. Let the acrylic cure and harden for 5 minutes. Tap the surface with a nail or a stick when you're ready to file. You'll hear a clicking sound when ready. You know what? That's exactly what I always say too. This one's not as ready, but this one is. Do not force or pull the nails off. Trim off as much acrylic tip as possible. For quick and easy removal, use the Kiss All-in-One Artificial Nail Kit Remover. That's good. Otherwise, soak it. Okay, file the entire nail surface using the Kiss Combo File. Use Kiss Whitening Finishing Block to smooth and finish, polish, and go. Okay, there is no whitening block, and there was no primer either. So, we are left with this. I will be honest, this is a very fine file. It's gonna take me forever to get through this. So let's get going. I'm spoiled. I'm used to professional files. And that's one thing I've heard is it's really hard to get good files if you're not buying them professionally. It's gonna take a while. And as far as shortening, oh boy. Let's see how long I have to hold it. Oh Lord, did I even take any down? Okay. Well, I'm gonna cheat and I could cut it, I suppose. Sometimes if you cut them like that, it's not advisable because you can split a crack down that way. This didn't do it because I think it's still a bit pliable. But if it's completely cured and hardened, I wouldn't do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna shape these up with this little file as best I can. It's such a little file, it's kind of cute. I'm gonna work on this one. I'm almost done with the filing. You know, depending on your application, of course, it makes a huge difference on how your filing goes down. If you got lots of lumps and bumps, it's gonna take a lot longer to file those down. If your application is pretty smooth, your filing doesn't take as long. Just shape this guy up. One thing that's very hard, I'm trying to get a real square on here, and because this file is so flimsy, it doesn't have really good strength to it, so it's bending as I go, so I can't, it's really hard to get a real square shape on it. I'll finish these up and just smooth them as best I can, another minute or so, and then we'll top coat them, and we'll take a look at the reveal shots. Okay, I'm a weak person. I almost used some professional files because I'm not getting the smoothness that I want. But cameraman suggested that we need to just use the products that they supplied to create what they suggest we can create. So I didn't cave. He kept me strong.
Good girl.
Okay, well, I've shaped it as best I can, and I'm trying to smooth it, but unless you have a file that goes down in making it more smoother, up in numbers, but maybe making it more smoother, I can only take this as far as I can take it, and I need a smoother grit, but it's not supplied. So, be it. So what I'm going to do right now is, now they don't supply anything to dust off either. So I'm not going to cheat and use this adorable little duster over there in the corner. That's so hard for me not to use it.
Didn't you use it already?
I did. Cut that part out.
You're cheating already.
I know. I just should have thought of that. So if you look at these definitely are not reveal ready. So if it's okay with you, I'm just going to put a polish coat on there for the reveal shots. So it does shine them up quite a bit nicer. Yeah, so when you put the clear coat on, you can see now right through to that tip. Now, it was adhered on this side, but it did not remain so. And I pressed it down pretty hard, and it's not wanting to remain there at all. They did not advise in here, but some things you can do is buff your tip up a little bit before you put the acrylic product on, or gel, whatever the overlay is, and that they did not advise either. So to finish this for the reveal shot, I'm going to put another clear coat of polish on here, but I'm going to put a color on here because let's pretend that it wasn't intended for it to be natural, although I think it might have been because that's why they give you these natural colored tips. But let's say they meant it for tap polish on top to be completely covering. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Another coat of clear will go on there. And then I'll just pick some colors from my collection behind me. Might not look as smooth as I would like it to because I didn't have any extra files to make the filing much more smooth. And I did put a coat of clear on here, so that's going to help take away any little rough marks. Also, I'm using a cream colored nail polish, which helps fill in those little cracks and little lines that might be there that you don't want to see. Okay, I will put another second coat on this, and let's get a look at this reveal shot. So the kit did say professional on it, and what I'm seeing is maybe not so much professional in the products as much as the talent it takes to put it on. So it really requires the knowledge of where you're placing it. That liquid to powder ratio still applies to this liquid and powder. It applies to no matter what liquid and powder you're using. The liquid to powder ratio is key important. So unless you master that, you wouldn't be able to make any product work well. With the knowledge that I have with liquid to powder ratio, I was able to get this on this product, and it looks relatively decent for now. We'll see how it holds up though. That'll be another story actually. But as far as application goes on and putting it on, it was a little rough for me getting there because I didn't have all the stuff that I'm used to. But let's see how it holds up in 3 or 4 weeks. Let's see how it goes. Okay? I'll talk to you soon.